evening. Okay, good evening, everyone. Okay, I'm Christopher. Okay, I am your host for tonight. Okay, of course, I'm not only the host. Okay, I'm also the facilitator. I'm also one of the panel sharer. Okay, so tonight, okay, very privileged that we can actually invite our global partners. Okay, to be on this Zoom. Okay, to actually have a very good topic. Okay, to share with everyone and to discuss about. Okay, so without further ado, okay, I'm sure tonight in the audience. Okay, I'm sure we have all of our members from Tree. Okay, and maybe there might even be some new friends that have actually viewed the Tree business and you are still considering. Well, tonight is a very good night of sharing. Okay, for everyone to learn more. All right. So what are we going to share? What's the topic that we are on to? Okay, I'm sure everyone saw from the video, the 1 minute video. Right before I pop up on the screen. Okay, I'm sure everyone knows that we have just carried out an Asia tour. Okay, and you can see on the stage this fine lady, okay, by the name of Kim Hui. Okay, she is actually the person, okay, that started this whole entire tree project. Okay, so she's our global mentor, Kim Hui. Okay, and of course, like one of the pillars of tree. Okay, what we always talk about is the pillar whereby we talk about we value people as the most valuable asset. So besides people, we also want to talk about the leadership. So Kim has actually exemplified good leadership in this platform that could be unique only for Tree, and you might not be able to find this kind of leadership elsewhere. Okay, so she has actually led by example and actually ran uh 5 weeks, okay, consecutively 5 weeks. She actually ran like 18 cities worldwide. Okay, from North America, she went all the way to our Asia, okay, to Asia tour. And we are so fortunate that we have a group of entrepreneurs, okay, especially coming from Asia. We all came together and followed Kim on this Asia tour. So just to give everyone a highlight quickly, okay, we're so glad that actually Kim started her tour in Taiwan, okay, whereby we started in Taipei, Taichung, then Kaohsiung, then followed on straight away. She flew over to Hong Kong. You can see that everywhere tree is exploding. Okay, straight away from Hong Kong, the whole bunch of us we flew to Singapore, then to Kuala Lumpur straight away the next day again, and we experienced the biggest crowd in Kuala Lumpur, whereby you saw from the 1 minute video is a jam-packed audience of around close to or more than 800 people, okay, in this event in KL. We are so proud of that event, okay? And last but not least, we also went on to Penang, followed by Ipoh, whereby Ipoh was the last stop of this Asia tour. So tonight, straight away, okay, very, very honored. Okay, I'd like to quickly bring up, because I've invited four of my friends from all over Asia, okay, to come on tonight. Okay, and let's have a short discussion about the learnings that we have after this Kim Hui tour. Okay, so without further ado, let me bring on the four friends that I'm talking about. Okay, first up, we of course have invited a guest sharer from Hong Kong. Okay, I know that he's very busy, but of course, allow him to actually say hi to everyone. Percy, are you there?
Yes. Hello, Christopher. Very nice to meet
Yes.
you. Yes. Hi,
Thank you so much,
everybody.
Percy. Okay,
Yeah.
Percy is really a very busy guy, especially after Kimui tour his fire up. So, of course, very fortunate that we can have at least 10 minutes of Percy's time. Okay, okay, thanks, Percy. Okay, and the next up I want to bring up is a fine lady, okay, that I respected a lot. Okay, she's all the way from Kuala Lumpur. Let's hear from Stephanie Go. Are you there? Open your microphone. All
Hello,
right.
quite excited. Hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, Stephanie Go from KL. Okay, then the next sharer I like to bring up, okay, she is all the way from Shah Alam, okay, also very far from me. Michelle, are you there?
Chris, thanks for inviting me. Hi, everyone.
Yes, yes, thanks. Okay, and of course, last but not least, okay, we have someone that also followed Kim all the way from Taiwan, all the way to the last stop, Ipoh. So, Adelina, are you there?
Yes, hi everyone. Thank you, Christopher, for hosting and inviting me on board.
Thanks so much. Okay, there you have it. We our sharers from Malaysia, from Hong Kong, and I represent Singapore. All right. So first up, okay, without further ado, let's quickly go round the table because all our sharers are very excited, okay, to share with everyone what breakthroughs do they have, what afterthoughts, what learning do they have from this precious Kim Hui Tour. Okay, let's start from our Hong Kong friend, Percy.
Okay, yes.
Let's start with
So
you.
it is very fortunate that I can participate in such tour. I was from Hong Kong to Taiwan, and then I back to Hong Kong. I shouldn't have a chance to go to Singapore, and too bad. I want to go actually. The trip is so amazing and so happy because I have a small photo I want to share to everybody. So take a look for that. Yeah, this one.
Oh,
I'm sure everybody will show a lot of picture. You can see beautiful face, you can see smiling face, but I'm thinking what's behind this. Actually, this is a meal, it's a lunch at the Kaohsiung. There's so many. We have abalone for lunch. So many food all together. It's so full, and we can take away for the next morning as a breakfast. I'm so because when I do the sharing in Hong Kong, we have another meeting with sharing. I was the first guy. Vincent asked me, "Oh, you have to share this trip." Then I pull up many photos, around 7 or 10. Then Vincent called me, say, no, you can share just one photo. Then I'm thinking, oh, what I should share? There's so many, every moment, every minute, so happy. It's so meaningful for me. And then later, just before the meeting, and saying I see the sequence. I was also like Christopher's position as the administrator for the meeting. Then I see the needs. I'm the first guy to do the sharing. Then who's better? I can choose the one I like. But unfortunately, everybody send me the photo. Then there's those photo is all I want to share. Then I think, what should I share? Then I find this one with the food, very beautiful food. But I'm not want to tell the people how luxury the food we have, but it is about the behind the scene. Because when we start the travel, our leader told me, the trip we are going this time is for learning. But the learning is not just from the stage, not from the speaker, but every minute, every second behind the scene. You can see the people, and the feeling is so strange. Such as Adelina, I met her on Zoom many times, several times in our English OPP. This girl, I met her the first time. It's supposed to be a stranger, but how come we are so friendly? It's like a family. It's all together. It is the spirit for free. Everybody, not just Hong Kong. We have Taiwan people. We have Malaysia. We have people from USA, from Australia, from Canada. Oh, it's like not a company, not a corporate. Before I worked in some garment industry, it's not talking about the corporate, the company, but now it seems to be a family to me. Actually, everybody is so friendly, and also amazing is the people from the stage. They are so energetic, especially like Kim. Just before coming to Asia, she is running around the whole from East Coast to West Coast for 3 weeks. So many cities, and she stopped only for he has rest only for 3 days. What's up the coast and pack up and come to Asia. But every meeting, her talk is so encouraging. So I don't know how to say it. It's the people, especially when she talk about why this is free. Why is the most important is she told us we don't need to talk. The most important is we open our heart, so the people, this is our heart, then people can understand. This is so amazing. And also, as I think we know each other for several months, such a time, sometimes before, like Stephanie and Christopher, I moved from the old platform to here. In the old platform, I always has a puzzle in my head. It was also a global company, but we talk only Mandarin all the times. Especially my Mandarin is so poor. Even I work in China. But this time we come, oh, we can see a lot of foreigner. We can say Malaysia. We can talk in English. So it give me the feeling it is really a true global company. We have different kinds of languages. Then we can talk, we can share. But the most important is this is not about the language. It's the people with the heart we can feel. So it is really amazing company, a very amazing group of people, that this is a movement of human being. This is what I want to share. Thank you.
Wow. All right, next sharer. Anyone want to?
Okay lah, I'm so excited after I saw all the food. Then I can recall back all my memory. I finished and we tapao back to hotel. Oh my goodness. Okay, actually for me, I recall back the like what just now Percy said, because we are in the X company and we joined Kim also, and I recall back the Asia tour and those days when Kim bring us, you know, from country to country, state to state. Wow. But this time is more relaxed. I can feel it. I no need to wear my high heel, and we can wear a sports shoe and can walk and then can chase. You know, I think Adelina can feel it. Okay. So actually for this time, I really feel very good for this experience, and we can connect with like all amazing people and what they call say and the good food, you know, especially the food from Taiwan and from Hong Kong. All is sponsored by Harry's, by Kim, and by Samson. And I know that when it comes to Hong Kong, the meal, okay, we had it is one table is almost 5,000 ringgit Malaysia. You know, it's really appreciate what our leader is really support us, you know. So from this tour, I really can learn that the connection, like what Percy said, is the connection. And I can feel that the power of three is really coming. In many call Xuan Feng, wow. And I really impressed, especially in KL. I didn't expecting that it's 900 attendees attend for our first event, you know. So, and also Ipoh. Ipoh, I remember for those I'm in my ex-company, the most is 100 people attend. And this round is about 300 people attended our Ipoh OPP. So it's really is a powerful. So I can feel the momentum, and my heart is keeping people. So Chris, so for me, I think it's very touching, especially when I learned something in Hong Kong, especially Kim on stage is sharing about mindset, you see. So she tried to share with us, she say, every time maybe she want to ask her husband to do something. So the husband, I think the impact for Kim is say, he cannot handle one. You know, he say my husband is cannot handle one. You know, Kim cannot handle. In Kim, what you call? In Kim mindset, they say, I think my husband cannot help me on this thing. You know, so but she, I think she only realized the last few weeks the awareness come in. Oh, why I keep saying she cannot help me on this thing. So mean is like the example, like normally when we want to set a goal for ourselves, we keep saying we cannot do, we can't achieve the goal. You know, actually we must turn our mindset that how are we going to achieve the goal? And she tried to say that, hey, I should tell my husband how to make him to work on this kind of thing. So this is really impact, because sometimes we really unconscious what we are, what our thought, you know. Yeah, this is what I experienced, especially at Hong Kong. This is my small sharing on this part. Okay, so maybe you can ask Michelle or Adelina. I think they are on fire now.
Yes. In fact, all I can say one word: we are all so blessed. We are so blessed under Kim's leadership. I see with my own eyes this lady at 58 years old. My goodness, I admire and 100% respect her leadership. Why? It's because I see her energy, her focus, her strength, despite going to 18 cities. I mean, if you think about it, I'm sure you have gone for holiday tours, maybe 3 to 4 cities. You're like so drained out, so exhausted, right? Can you imagine her at 58 going to 18 cities? I mean, I am 51 and I feel tired. The 4 cities is like, oh my goodness, I'm already drained out already. I don't know how she does it, but her focus, her passion, her purpose, her mission is so clear in her mind, that $100 billion mark company. And through her sharing, through her actions, through her leadership, I see there is no doubt, no doubt for all of us here. It's just whether we want to follow or not, because we are following the right mentor. We are following the right leaders, together with top leaders around the world. There's no way we can fail unless we give up. So to me, I look at it like, Kim has got a fantastic big vision for us. That $100 billion mark, and she said, what it means to her is many lives will be changed. And that to me touched me a lot, because I know I will be a part of that movement to help more and more people. So, put money aside. I know financially that, we always say this movement gives us three things, which is the physical wellness, the financial wellness, and also spiritual wellness. But I think the most important of all is that spiritual wellness and the ability to help people because of the platform that we have and the amazing leadership. I look at Kim and I think that, if she at 58 to do this, what excuse do I have? What excuse do we have? And I look at the top leaders. I look at Gary. I mean, Gary is like me, don't really know Mandarin. But during the Chinese OPB, he's sitting right in front, and from the back, I can see his head nodding. And I'm thinking, do you really understand? He's picking up the body language. And, to me, I mean, my Mandarin isn't that good, but I'm picking up as well. But I think that he's a very clear example, whether it's the language that you're comfortable with or not, be there, show up, because there's definitely something to be taken away. And talking about that is something that, I mean, there's a lot of impactful moments, but one that stuck to my mind is the one in Penang. And when Kim got up the whiteboard and she started talking about how to be pioneers. I think we always talk about, oh, this is a pioneering opportunity. This is, how to be pioneers. But we never really think, actually, what does it take to be pioneers? Are we pioneers or not? Because then she started to work out the statistics, which I'm going to show you now. I'm going to share screen. This is Kim talking about it. All right. So she said in a group of 100 people, okay, 2.5%, that means not really two people, 2.5 people, but 2 to 3 people are actually pioneers. Okay. In that room itself, there was about 300 over people. And I can say 90% of people put up their hand. They are pioneers there. And then she went on to the next group of people, which is, she was saying the early adapters, which is 13.5%, and then the early majority and the late majority and the laggers. So to me, why this one impacted me a lot is because when I looked at the numbers, I asked myself, yes, we are pioneers. Are we really? Or are we the early adapters? Or are we the early majorities? Because those are the ones that actually, hang around and they wait till something is proven. There's testimonials, there's all that. So to me, what I'm looking for is pioneers, people who are business minded. They see the opportunity, and like what Kim said, they not only see it, they seize it. They really grab the opportunity to be pioneers. So, those of you online, I know that sometimes when we meet with someone and that someone may not see it, that's okay, because then you know where to classify them. Are they the early adapters? Are they the early majority, and so on? Or maybe they're the laggers. So we don't want to force them if they are really the laggers, because they may wait till everything is set up and done, and company is probably going through momentum. If I look back at the previous platform, we talked about the previous platform just now, and I joined the previous platform in the midst of momentum. So I missed that first part. This time around, I'm not going to miss that. that first part. So I really, encourage all of you online, don't miss it. If you are pioneers, you know what you have in your hand. Same company, same leadership, same content, same products. The only thing is you. So it's come back to you. Are you a pioneer? Okay, ask yourself this. All right. Thanks,
Mm.
Christopher.
Right,
Okay.
thank you, Michelle. Okay, let me quickly jump in. Okay, my turn to share. I'm also excited. All right, so of course, thanks to all the previous sharer. Let me also like Percy and Michelle. Let me also share a photo. Okay, that kind of sum it up. Okay, what I actually felt. Okay, and of course, like what Percy said, a lot of important learnings are actually off all the jam-packed events. Okay, which is our meals, our bus trips, all this. So this leadership lunch in Ipoh, which is our last stop of the Asia tour, actually touched me the most and gave me the most afterthoughts. Okay, so maybe also it was the last stop of the Asia tour. That's why a lot of leaders, including Kim, just gave her hearts out and just gave us a very, very good sharing. So let me quickly share 3 pointers during this lunch that touched me so much. Okay, the first pointer was, okay, of course, like what Michelle mentioned just now, Gary. Okay, Gary comes all the way from Sedona, okay, and he's the only business partner that never missed out on all of the 18 cities, and he's so dedicated, okay, and of course, most importantly is when Gary actually shared in this leadership lunch, despite not knowing most of the conversation, which is in Mandarin, Gary actually shared the most touching sharing, whereby it left so many of us in tears. Okay, even myself, I'm a guy, I'm touched by his sharing. Okay, because what Gary was sharing was, he said that he has never felt love, as much love and sincere love from all new friends. I mean, we are new friends. I mean, I've just known Gary for this trip. I'm also considered his new friend, but he can feel the love everywhere, all around, and everyone is so sincere. So this really brings us back to our love culture that we have in Tree under Kim Hui, and especially not only love culture that we have. Okay, it's so touching that when we hear Gary talk about this, everyone teared. I myself also teared. Okay, and of course, it's so touching, especially when I'm someone so practical, so logical. Such touching sharing actually left a very deep impression in my heart. And most importantly, also down to the culture, the kind of servant leadership that we have. I'm so blessed, so grateful that Kim, being such a powerful leader, I mean, she exhibits all the servant leadership that we have. Okay, because in the Singapore event, again, Singapore event, of course, we do not have much chairs in the event. Okay, so we really knew that all of us members, we have to give up seats to all of our new friends, including Kim. Okay, so she was also among the first few leaders to quickly jump up and give out her seats to all the new friends that are coming into the event. And when it was time for her, because the whole business showcase actually took about an hour or more. So actually myself, even Kim, and a lot of leaders, we stood up and we ran around for about close to or even more than an hour. So when it was about time for Kim to take the stage, I was very tired. My leg was tired. I was actually moving my feet because my calf, my thighs were tired. And from the corner of my eye, I also saw Kim doing some simple foot and leg exercises. It really struck a chord in me because, again, okay, she's so successful. She doesn't need to exhibit all this servant leadership, but she is really leading by example. That's why the love and the kind of leadership roles, the kind of culture, the kind of leadership attitudes that we exemplify to everyone in this family is overpowering and is so powerful. Okay, and of course, the second point I'd like to share also from 2 sharers that came from China. It's their first time in our family. So one of these sharer was talking about when he first looked at Tree, okay, when he actually calculated and he actually go and research on the management capability, the whole corporate management and the field leadership that Tree has. He was so amazed because from the number of experience that our corporate management in total have, and from the number of years of experience that our field leadership have, all in total, he total up and he says that, wow, that is more than 500 years of total experience. Okay, it really struck us very much because I'm very sure none of us has actually calculated this figure, but this sharer actually did. So again, I found a new way to share how convincing 3 is, from corporate management to field leadership. And of course, another China sharer also shared that it's the first time he embraced, I mean, he was soaked in our atmosphere and our family, and he felt that we are so different from other platforms. Okay, while a lot of people only know how to compare compensation plan, products, corporate management with other platforms, well, this sharer actually shared a new dimension. He was mentioning that only in our platform he can see that everyone is telling the truth. Okay, so I think this Cheryl was kind of hinting that, well, maybe other platforms, sometimes they tend to be more boastful and maybe they do more overclaim. So only in our family, we are the ones that are sincere and we don't hard sell, we don't do overclaims, and we are the only one that does nothing but sincere words and truth. So this touched me so much. So I really hope that everyone can have a lot of different dimensions when we share how great this project is. And last but not least, the third pointer I'd like to share is I am so blessed that I'm finally home. Okay, I'm home as in I'm back. I mean, me, Percy, Stephanie, a lot of us, we are all from the previous platform to 3. So when I say I'm home, I really feel home. Okay, and it's not only feeling home. Okay, it is the kind of energy, the kind of support that we have. That I know that I have a very powerful backbone. I have someone backing me, a whole global team backing me up. So much so that it gives me so much confidence. So I like to tell everyone, you have a very powerful global support. So go out there and massively share 3. Okay, I'm sure we will rock the market. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so last but not least, I like to invite Adelina. Of course, Adelina is so dedicated. She has followed the whole tour from Taiwan all the way to the last stop, Ipoh. So Adelina, over to you.
Thank you, Christopher. So, yeah, like Percy as well, I think many of us have not met each other, right, in person before. I was also very happy, to actually meet Percy in person, and say hi, right? And Dennis, and many other leaders, even Chloe, I have not met in person before. We've seen each other only on the webinars, right? So far. So I think one of the key things that I think is very heartwarming, right, is the entire Taiwan trip, right? Because starting from Taiwan, I think many things that we never really pay attention to normally in our daily lives, it's actually being revealed, right? So what is really nice, one of the things that and this is a mark also on leadership, how do you know that you are with the right leaders, right? So my first experience with in Taipei, right, was very interesting because at the event space itself, we went there earlier to set up. But it's not so much the fact that, we know what to do to set up, right? But it's the fact that it is a unison, The people were working as one, right? I think that marks a true leadership of Kim Hui, Harris, Patrick, Samson, and everyone, on the ground. Because, to have the right leadership means that we can all work as one. And when we can all work as one, imagine yourself and everyone on a boat, and we are rowing in one direction, then you know that this is the right team, right? You're in the right place, the right team, the right leadership. That's got the vision that all of us are going in one direction, and therefore we can move fast. You can move fast, we can move big, and we can be in a one space. So that's why, the feeling of being in a family, the feeling of connection, I think is very powerful. I saw people just, helping each other, putting up, the banners, putting it together, moving the chairs, the sound checks, the testing of the mics, everybody was just working, there was not anyone having to tell anyone what to do. We just, going out there and just doing that. And I think that is fantastic, right? And, even during the opportunity meeting itself, because it was quite a wide room, and so everyone had eye contact with each other throughout the room, right? Like, oh, how many more chairs? Oh, 2 or more, 3 here. There's more space here, and so we were really adjusting and making the space very, very accommodating, and it really felt the whole entire energy was really being focused, very, nurturing, and, very open, to the guests that were there, to everyone, that were also members there as well, that really felt that, well, hey, even when we had international people, from America, from Australia on the ground, everyone was, Hong Kong, in Malaysia, Singapore, that was also there, everyone was just working as one, right? That's very powerful. And I think, one of the things that, I felt very, it was really something unexpected, like for me, because, I've never really been in this industry before. I've had a bit of a taster in the previous platform, but very short time, right? So this is like, I'm kind of like a newbie, in this platform right now. But what is really interesting is that, that I have some team members that have been like maybe 30 years in this industry before, maybe 25 years. And sometimes I feel really small, right? Because, I ask myself, how do I actually meet people who are like so much more experienced than I am? But what is very powerful is, I have a very, very great, sponsor and mentor in Samson, that has got all the right answers all the time. When I ask him, okay, what do I do now, Samson? And that is really, really useful, right? I think, when you have the right people, the right mentors and very experienced people in the proven system, you cannot go wrong. Even though you're so inexperienced like myself, and we're leading teams perhaps that are even better than us, in so many ways. But we are able, to bring things together. And what was interesting, when I first landed in Taipei, and I was just standing in the immigration, like long queue, and I just opened my phone, and then wow, there was thousands of WhatsApp coming through. And the thing was that, because my team, and this is why I think, this experience in the Asia expedition tour together with Kim Hui, some people just think, oh, well, you're just going there, you're just having to see, but it's not actually that. It's actually a personal transformation, immersion experience. And it's, as leaders, I think we cannot miss such things, right? So my personal experience, the minute I landed in Taipei, and my team knew that I was going to be in Taipei, and even at the last minute, they were stretching, right? I left at about 7 o'clock in the morning flight and arrived about 12 o'clock. And even in that morning itself, they were stretching and really stretching. And one of them actually even called their friend, in Japan, hey, do you know anybody who is an MNM leader or somebody, a great leader, in Taiwan, because, it'd be wonderful to go and get them to go and meet Kim Hui, right? And lo and behold, they actually found people even at the last minute, to bring people there. So being in this, they themselves couldn't be there, but they can leverage, right? You can leverage on your leaders. You can leverage on other, bigger leaders there who are there as well, because we all work as one, and there's full of integrity and transparency as well. And what Christopher and Percy and Stephanie also talked about, that we really learn outside, from the actual events itself, right? So it's the before, it's the during, but it's also the after. But I think one of the beautiful parts, of the Taiwan trip was actually the bus journeys, from Taipei to Taichung, and then from Taichung to Kaohsiung. What is so nice and beautiful about it is that we do a lot of sharing, right? And then there's a lot of sharing of why we are in three. What is it that we want out of it? What is our real dream? What are we afraid of, right? and what do we think that we can't achieve? You know, these were things that we were actually talking and sharing. And I think it also helped to really refresh and reborn, you know, old ties, right? You know, maybe we had some challenges before with some friends, but, you know, it's all being resolved during this trip. And when these things are being resolved, we can actually open our heart, you know, just like what Percy said. And, you know, when that our hearts are open and we release, you know, some of these energies, you know, that is no longer serving us, I think, you know, whole world actually opens up for us, our connection to each other. You know, we're so beautiful. I had a bit of a car drive sickness, you know, and, you know, Kim Hui actually, she's so observant. And you know, she always says that she's very observant. She truly is observant. You know, she actually came forward to me, and you know, she shared some you know, essential oil, you know, to help, you know, relieve. And I think that the care and the love, you know, is really powerful, right? It's being displayed by the top leaders, but and then, you know, you can actually see everyone else, you know, follow suit. You know, when I came down, you know, when we were having lunch, you know, other people were actually reaching out to me as well and say, you know, are you okay? How are you doing? Do you need something? Do you need this? You know, can this be helpful for you? I think that's very beautiful. And this is a part that I think, you know, is very rare, right? That we actually find even in the corporate world, right? Even when we do, you know, run our own businesses sometimes, you know, the display of what it truly means to be caring is different, you know, to what we have in Three. So yeah, you know, I think, you know, I'd like to open it up, you know, to our next conversation, you know, Christopher.
All right.
And then let's take this away.
Thank you, Adelina. Okay, we all can hear that you're running a flu, so
Yeah.
thanks so much for even contributing, even though you're sick. Okay,
Yeah.
and of course, again, okay, before we go on to the next conversation, I also know my dear brother Percy is very busy. I know that he's going to run off to another meeting. So Percy, thanks so much for having you.
Welcome. It's very nice to see you guys. So take care.
Yes.
Okay.
So thank you,
Bye-bye.
Percy.
Thank
All right.
you.
All right, so I'm sure everyone knows that we always talk about plugging into the system is so important. Actually, this Kim Hui Asia Tour is a very good example of plugging into the system, because we have some partners, when we told them there's a chance to follow Kim, some of them chose not to do anything. Some of them chose to take leave and to actually do a lot of things. One of my partner even chose to get her passport ready, renewed. So there's a lot of different responses. So how has plugging the system worked for everyone? Okay, maybe we just go round the table. Maybe Michelle, how has your team blossomed after plugging in?
Absolutely incredible. I'd like to share about actually a very new 2 weeks old team member. Okay, she's from Singapore, and you know, we always like you said, we always say plug in the system, plug in the system. Like she's so brand new. I think some people will be like hesitant to plug her in the system, but for me, it's like perfect timing. You know, what better timing than to follow Kim and all the top leaders? Anyway, so she was actually supposed to come to Malaysia a week earlier. So I said, no, 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 you just rearrange. And she did rearrange all her schedule and everything in order to make it for the trip. And I'm so happy she did. She was my roomie, my roommate. What happened was from Singapore, she followed to KL to Penang and Ipoh. And I can see the sparkle in her eyes from the first day we were doing 3 minute story while waiting for the LRT and all that. So to the end day, wow, she is truly on fire. I'm so glad she went. In fact, on the last day, you know, when the last day in Ipoh, before we went to bed about 2 a.m. And she was asking a lot of questions on how to get started, you know, like she's just on fire, who she want to talk to. And the next day in the morning as well, walking to breakfast, same thing, and then on the bus all the way home. So if any one of you are hesitating, you know, then if ever there is an opportunity like that, please plug your team members, whether they are new, old, or whatever, just plug them in because they will benefit so much. Yeah. So Chris, definitely, I'm so glad I made that last minute call for this new team member. Yeah. What about you?
How about Stephanie?
Or Stephanie?
Okay. Chris, before that, can you show the one video?
All right.
Oh, it's okay. This is part of system. quick video that we are doing at airport.
Okay, give me a while. Sorry. Okay, coming up right now.
Malaysia.
Okay, this is recall me that just now what Michelle said plug-in system. So you can see all the video. This is I'm taking at this airport at Kaohsiung. We're at Kaohsiung. Okay, and actually this trip. Maybe normally people was thinking, oh, it's a trip that you want to travel to Taiwan, Kaohsiung, Taipei, just a seaside or just join them the happy. No, actually in the whole what do you call in the whole journey is a learning point, and also is a system to ask our leader to plug in. Okay, as a leader, I think I learned from this trip that we must very what do you call very not careful. We need to be alert on details part. Seeing, okay, and the menu called seeing, and your eye must be very sharp. Okay, I remember I have one leader from Taiwan. Okay, and Patrick told me this lady will be a star, but somehow the fire is kept inside. Must need somebody go and dig her up, So when in Taiwan, slowly from Taipei and Taichung, then got one time I think Kim gave her opportunity to share in stage, okay? And after sharing on the stage, she came down to me. She said she would think she might follow us to this Asia trip to Malaysia. And I was really very happy, okay? And of course, in the end, she decided to follow us, And the touching part is after follow the trip in Malaysia, and especially Penang, she was invited again to on stage to share about the product. And she came down and Kim gave her 2 thumbs up. Well, immediately the confidence level is up and really inspired back her dream. And I remember when I sent her back, when I sent her to the airport time, and she holding my hand, she said, Stephanie, I find back my confidence level, and I find back my fire. Well, this is really make my, my tears would really drop, You see, because this is really a touching part that the money is cannot, cannot buy. Yeah, and that this is the process how that Kim, like just now what Adelina said, the personal transformation. I think this is the real connection that we really want to impact our leaders. The Chinese is called 生命影响生命，生命扶持生命. That this is what Kim want to deliver. Yeah, this is what I very impressed. And the second thing, we don't miss out event, especially that if let's say we have a big leaders come to fly into Malaysia, because we say more meeting mean more money, right?
Yes.
So if let's say we have any event on OPP, we need to leverage on them, and we need to invite our prospect to attend the meeting.
Yes.
I remember that I have 2 prospects attended in, I think in Ipoh once and in KL. They really impressed by Kim's speech, and they really feel that Kim is really down to earth and really touched to their heart, And honestly, that this is what we are doing. Like Kim say, we are really doing the real business. We really want to keep what to connect with people's heart. So the best part, we need to leverage our event. Yeah. So in the end, my leader was very happy, and the 2 cases is successfully signed up.
Wow.
Fantastic. Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Chris is my sharing. I hope my broken English can understand. Ah.
That's not broken at all, Stephanie. You speak fluent English.
Thank you, Adelina.
Yeah, so I think, plugging into the system, is one of the key success factors, right? For this business, because it's where we also connect, but we also recharge, right? And I think what is really powerful is that I had a couple of my Muslim team members that join us as well, even throughout all the Mandarin and the Cantonese sessions, they came, they joined in, even, during the lunches, yeah, and things like that. And I think that is powerful because, for them, it's eye-opening. And then one of them, actually during one of the lunches, the leadership lunch, turned to me and said, I think we need to have more Malay people here. So I said, yeah, you better go out there and conquer the Malay market now. So, it does fire people up, right? Being part of the whole entire system, and being, amongst very positive, very rejuvenating, uplifting energy, very focused energy for everybody. I think it's really, really essential. I think one of the things that sometimes, people think about, right, is that, oh, but I don't have, any prospects, or I don't have any team members in that particular city. So why would I want to go there, right? And why do I want to be on that? But, even for me, I didn't have anyone, in Taiwan, in any of the 3 cities. But I went, and I'm Chinese, but I don't speak Chinese. So most of the time in the entire trip, I was completely lost, right? But the whole thing is that even though I was completely lost, but the energy and the connection, you receive it. You receive it when you are open to it. And I think that's the powerful thing, and that's what you want, for yourself, you want also for your team members, to be part of it. And, that's a powerful thing. I think for my team, they also met with other, people, in the whole entire tour. We had people from Hong Kong, they were sharing, some of them were like district council, in Hong Kong, very, very powerful positions, right? And they're in 3D. Wow, that's fantastic, right? And they were sharing, their photos, right? Even 2 months after taking, 3 products, this gentleman, 69 years old, he looks like 50 something, or, comparison, that's fascinating. And I think, when you have everyone plugged in, together, and we hear from other people. We also hear, I mean, there was a lot of sharing as well as to, okay, well, how do you do your business in Toronto, for example? How do you do your business in San Diego, in the US? What are the things that you do as well, that we could learn from? So it's a sharing amongst, the members, in different countries, because we're all in the same boat, right? But we may actually approach things differently. But that's great, we learn from the experiences of others. And I think that actually helped also together with my team, every single one of them, that were in the journey or part of the journey, that was exciting for them. They saw and learned things, people were actually writing down contacts lists, in the bus. People were making some phone calls, in the bus, to still continue to invite people, to come to the next event. You can't miss this, and I think that's powerful, so yeah, I think it's an investment of your time, it's an investment of some money, but I think it's so truly worth it. It's not just for the 3 business, I must say, right? The things that we learn, we experience, out of this Asia expedition tour was, it's about life.
Yeah,
Truly,
powerful.
it's truly about life.
Yep. All right, thanks, Adelina. Okay, of course, I brought 4 members on the trip, okay, and they are also fired up until almost all of them were massively connecting with people. And I even have one partner that is striving to fill up all my calendar, okay, to talk to new friends. Okay, that's That's the kind of power, okay, when we actually plug all our members into the system. And a bit more about the system, okay, sometimes some people still cannot comprehend what does the system means. In short, it means leverage on the people within the system, leverage on the events that we have, and know the process, when to use what events, what tools, when to leverage on people. That's what the whole system encompasses. All right, so a little bit more, okay, because a lot of people don't know what system events we have. Okay, so for North America, actually, on Tuesday morning, 8 a.m., we have our business showcase, English business showcase. On Wednesday morning, 8 a.m., actually, we have trainings. On Thursday, 8 a.m., Asia timing, okay, which is our North America timing. Actually, we have wellness webinar whereby people talks about product testimonial. That's for North America timing. And our leaders are so dedicated that we have heard feedback that 8 a.m. is just too early. That's why we have a whole series of Asia timing events whereby on Monday nights, 9 p.m., we have our Cantonese business showcase. On every 2 weeks on Wednesday nights, 9 p.m., we have our Mandarin webinars, okay, powerful webinars. And on Thursday, every Thursday, we have our English business showcase. Just that we took up this English for our post-Asia tour sharing, okay? And of course, a highlight for this Asia or this English webinar, we will have more and more global partners contributing. Okay, so soon you will hear even maybe testimonial sharers from even Philippines, from even other parts of Asia. All right, so everything exciting events line up. All right, so in the interest of time, of course, maybe just go round the table again for any last words, last advice from all our sharers today. All right, anyone want to start first? Just some last advice, last words. All right, Michelle.
Well, I'll go first. Well, opportunity is like sunrise, I always say. If you wait too long, you miss them. And don't miss out. The momentum is happening sooner than we think. Don't think that, oh, the curve is coming maybe 1, 2 years from now. What if it's sooner than that? Okay, so please don't wait. The time is now. Work at it now because you might miss out on that momentum that is coming as well. So just 3 words from Nike. They always say, just do it. Okay, that's from me. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Stephanie?
I think I need to express this in Mandarin, just translate in English. Okay, 我们不是赢在起跑点，我们是赢在它还没有开始的时候，我们就看见了。
Wow. Okay, most importantly, Stephanie is trying to put across that it doesn't matter when or where do we start. Okay, our starting point doesn't matter. Most importantly is, do we actually seize it until we have the strong conviction to last us to the finishing point. All right, that's the most important. All right, Adelina.
Very nice. So I think that sometimes some of us may have some doubts, we may have some hesitation. We give ourselves all kinds of reasons, to not be part of something which is bigger, which is different, we've never done before. So what I like to say is that, it's okay, right? It's okay. One of the things that in one of the lunches, that Kim Hui sat together, I was on the same table, and she shared this, she said, many people, like admire Kim, but she says, what actually you're admiring is you just find something of yourself in her. Okay, that's it. That's a mirror, it's like a mirror in front, and if you're the right frequency, you see it, you feel it, most importantly, then let go of everything that you think you can or cannot do, and just go with that feeling, and that's exactly what it is.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Powerful. All right, thanks, Adelina. Okay, so my last advice, my last words to everyone in the audience, okay, the timing is now. Okay, like all the talks about being pioneers, okay, we have everything from leadership to the products, okay, and to a very pure purpose, okay, we have everything. So if you're still doubting, okay, yourself, okay, if you doubting yourself that you can't do it, doesn't matter, okay? Have confidence in your leaders, okay, in your sponsor, in your global mentor. And this will give you loads and loads of energy to go out there and spread the love. All right, let's start this entrepreneurial movement together. All right, so thank you very much. Okay, thanks Stephanie, thanks Michelle, thanks Adelina. And that's all we have tonight. All right, so of course, stay tuned for our weekly webinars. And of course, last but not least, I like to say, okay, some simple homework. Okay, do reach out to your leaders. Okay, because in our last message from Kim in our EPO leadership lunch, Kim did mention that she might come back again to this part of the world somewhere in October, and she might do a gratitude tour. Okay, but of course, there will be rank requirement, which you haven't announced. So please do get back to your leaders, work hard, and see you in the next tour. All right, thank you very much.
See everyone soon.
Thank you. Bye
See you,
bye.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.